Today's lecture is about lexicology, that means the science of words. So, lexicology is a branch of language science that studies the word and the vocabulary of the language as a whole. As its name shows, lexicology is, broadly speaking, the science of words. It is so because the term lexicology comes from the combination of the Greek words lexis, meaning word, and logos, meaning science. Unlike lexicology, the word has not been given very clear definitions. It lacks of clarity being due to the multitude of angles from which it has been approached. Things have got more and more complicated. Since Bloomfield suggested in 1926 that the word is a minimum free form, meaning that it is the smallest meaningful linguistic unit that can be used independently to convey meaning. The easiest way to recognize a word is to consider it the strings of letters and orthographic signs occurring between two blank spaces in written language. Seen from this perspective, the word may be considered an orthographic word. However, as simple as this approach may seem, it is not universally valid. There is a degree of flexibility in the way words are written down. Being or not being separated by a space may in itself not be a sure sign of word status. Attention should be drawn upon the fact that, if, for example, compound words, either solid or hyphenated, for example blackboard, schoolboy, bedroom or mother-in-law, forget-me-not, may be correctly identified as single units of the vocabulary on the basis of the orthographic criterion, what are known in linguistics as clutching groups may not. Words as physical objects exist not only in writing, but also in speech. Seen from this perspective, they are known as phonological words. The recognition of spoken words seems to be a more difficult task than their recognition in writing, primarily due to the fact that the readily identifiable breaks at the boundaries of a written word are no longer present in speech. When spoken, words are not separated distinctly from each other, they come in a torrent, they overlap. Lexicology distinguishes between words as word forms and words as lexical items or lexemes. The lexeme is an abstract entity with different variants that is found in dictionaries and that has a particular meaning. Word forms are the concrete objects that we write, orthographic words, or utter, phonological words, whenever we use language. The relationship between a lexeme and its word forms is, according to Katamba, in 2002, one of realization, representation or manifestation. For example, the lexeme ring occurs in dictionaries as such and may be represented when language is actually used by one of the following word forms: ring, rang, rung, rings, ringing. The lexeme good may manifest itself in actual speaking or writing as good, better, the best. The lexeme child may be realized as child or children, etc. Seen from a grammatical perspective, words play an essential role in syntax, since sentences contain strings of words. A word is a lexical item with a particular meaning and certain morphological and syntactic characteristics is referred to as a grammatical word. The same word form of a lexeme may be used as different grammatical words, a phenomenon known in linguistics as syncretism. If we consider sentences 1 and 2 below: 1. She paid the telephone bill yesterday. 2. She has paid the telephone bill. We notice that the verb pay is realized by the same word form, namely paid, in both sentences, although in sentence 1, paid, as a grammatical word, indicates that the action took place at a definite moment in the past, while, in sentence 2, it indicates that the action has been completed recently. In sentence 1, paid is described grammatically as the past tense of the verb pay. In sentence 2, it is described as the past participle of the same verb. Lexicology has two main divisions, established according to the degree of generality in tackling phenomena specific of words. Both these major branches of lexicology may be further divided into at least two other sub-branches. On the one hand, the approach of the vocabulary of the language from a diachronic point of view forms the domain of investigation of historical lexicology, which counts at length on etymology, the study of meaning, origin and development of individual words. Descriptive lexicology, on the other hand, operates synchronically, that is, it deals with the characteristics of vocabulary at a given stage in its evolution. A third sub-branch of lexicology is lexicography, the compilation and writing of dictionaries. Lexicology relies heavily on other mainstream branches of linguistics, phonology, morphology and syntax, semantics. Morphology dictates the acceptable combinations of particles that generate words. Syntax also plays an important role in a lexicological study. Semantics deals with the meaning of words, a kind of study without which the compilation of dictionaries would be impossible. In addition to these, etymology, lexicography, pragmatics, dialectology, sociolinguistics and psycholinguistics may also relate to lexicology. Etymology studies the history of words, with an emphasis on their origin, while lexicography, which Jackson, 1988, considers applied lexicology, plays an undeniably important role in the writing and compilation of dictionaries. Pragmatics goes beyond the surface level of words and teaches us, for example, how to infer the right meaning of a word in a particular context. Dialectology studies the peculiarities of words from a given region or from a given historical period, for example. Sociolinguistics shows, for instance, how the use of words is determined by the characteristics of the participants in a linguistic exchange, while psycholinguistics deals with matters such as how words are stored in our brains and how it is possible for language users to retrieve the right word at the right time from this warehouse. Here comes the reference for this lecture. Thank you for your attention.